Hello, I'm Brittany Davis, and this is my LHRD 4569 final presentation. My leadership experience includes 7 years as a cosmetology educator for Aveda, 3 years as the lead educator at the Baton Rouge campus, and 7 years as the Aveda Director of Curriculum. Leadership behaviors are increasingly necessary for individuals looking to grow in their profession or career. Prior to this class, I had a very surface level understanding of what leadership meant. Since this class, I have realized that leadership strategies are complex and context matters. Not every situation or person requires the same leadership behaviors to succeed. As a cosmetology instructor, I'm required to be a leader in the classroom. I've always preferred the term classroom leadership over classroom management due to the nature of what we do. This course has solidified that theory for me. Early in our class, it was discussed whether leaders were born or made. For most of my life, I believed that leaders were born having a predisposition to certain personality or characteristic traits that made them a candidate for leadership. However, in my work experience and through the module readings in this class, it became clear that successful leaders are a bit of both. Leaders more likely have certain traits that give them an instinctual ability to lead others, but through trial and experience, we learn exactly how to motivate others in order to achieve desired results. As I train new educators for our company, I've begun to implement this theory. The 6 characteristics on the slide indicate the actions of effective leaders. Over the course of the class, I inventoried which behaviors I was successful at and which I had an opportunity for improvement. I found 3 distinct behaviors that I would benefit from improving: leading by wandering around, giving recognition, and leading with love. First, I was working in a secluded office cubicle in our corporate office. I recently moved our office to the Baton Rouge campus so that way I could be closer to the school and more connected with the students and educators who utilize the material that I create for curriculum. Secondly, I make it my purpose to recognize educators on the lead educator calls that I host weekly. From the text, I've learned that recognition is the fastest and most cost effective way to positively affect organizational morale. Thirdly, the lead with love theory helps to retrain my mindset in approaching and interacting with employees. By leading with love, you approach every situation from a place of genuine care and concern, which ultimately improves morale and builds trust between leaders and followers. People who are seen as leaders have a passion for the goals they pursue. That passion is accompanied by a high level of energy. When combined, their passion and energy tend to be contagious, which is a key reason why others follow their lead. Over the last couple of years, I've noticed that my passion for hair and education has waned. I found myself just moving through the motions. In the previous few weeks, I've strived to reignite that passion by attending advanced educational classes, spending more time training new hires, and even leading a few student classes. I've always had a passion for hair and teaching. Though when I was working in the corporate office, physically separated from the classroom, it decreased my drive. By simply placing myself in a campus again, I have found the passion I once had for cosmetology education. Leaders are people who are not only aware of themselves, but others in some manner. Leaders are able to see the strengths, motivators, and desires, fears, and self doubts of their followers. Leaders also recognize the differences in these individuals. Not all individuals or followers are made the same. In my recent self assessment of leadership skills, I have made it my purpose to spend more time investigating the expectations and motivations of the educator team that I lead. Some of my lead educators have obvious strengths, but others took time and conversations for me to discover. In addition, I have begun to delegate tasks based on their skills and passions rather than trying to do it all myself. In managerial terms, emotions can represent a nuisance, something to either be ignored or dismissed as irrelevant. For a long time, and from training from my superiors in the past, um, emotions were posed as roadblocks to achieving goals. I have since recognized my own biases toward emotions and seek to understand others rather than dismiss their feelings. I love this quote. Leadership is largely about forming and maintaining relationships over time with our students, and for me, our educators. In the leadership theory called Leader Member Exchange, or LMX, there are two types of exchanges related to leadership, either tangible or intangible. It is our job as a leader to understand the exchanges that motivate our followers. There are tangible exchanges that I have with my team, salaries and bonuses, and intangible exchanges such as professional friendliness, acceptance of mutual responsibility, and trust. Ultimately, if trust exists, the relationship is more relaxed and educators are more likely to be motivated to put forth extra effort and creativity. Here are my 5 evidence based leadership strategies that I have determined will help me support better follower behavior from my educators. Create consistent rules and routines, be aware, build positive relationships, focus on positive feedback, and find the root cause of disruptive behavior. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this class, and I look forward to utilizing all lessons learned in my future endeavors. Thank you.